I find that guys that tend to do the best with a mystery method type of style of game are the guys who are more of an analytical mind. Guys who, might be computer programmers or engineers tend to be a little more introverted. Those types of minds, they can see a structure in everything. Like, step one, you do this. Step two, you do this. Step three, you do this, and then result. Hey, what's up, guys? Dale Valor here for Modern Valor Dating. And today, I'm bringing you one of the philosophies in game that I truly believe will help your game immensely if you understand it fully. So I'm going to be breaking that down. And what that philosophy is that everything works. All right, I got the top 4 reasons as to why that is. All right, so we're going to hop into that right now. Let's go. Number 1. All right, so here's the deal. The reason I say that everything works is because I truly believe that to be the case. It's just a matter of what works best for you. All right, so it's a matter of determining what style of game you think meshes well with your personality, with who you are, and what you're presenting. Okay, now the first one being natural game. All right, so with natural game, what you're talking about is oftentimes just being direct, just being yourself. In all these situations, you should always be yourself, but it's just a matter of the way that you're presenting yourself, right? So here's the thing. If you're going to be a natural and you're going to present yourself in a way that is authentic through and through and through, there is nothing wrong with that. Here's the deal. A lot of guys, they have a pissing contest as to what style of game works the best. And that's what this is about, is how all of them work. It's just what works best for you. So if you feel the need to just be natural and just state your intent and take it from there, there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to have the right type of personality for that to work, all right? So now we're going to get into the second one. Let's go. Tip number 2, structured game, all right? Something that lends to, say, like a mystery method type of style, right? A lot of guys knock that. They say it's old school, things like that. I say attraction is attraction. So that being said, if something worked 15 years ago, it's still going to work today, the nuts and bolts of it. There's been things that have popped up in society over the course of time, more social media platforms, texting becoming more popular, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's things that have been introduced, but that doesn't take away from the nuts and bolts of it, all right? Now, here's the thing. A lot of times there's this pissing contest between naturals and guys who do more of a structured style game, all right? Again, I go back to everything works at just what works best for you, right? So here's the deal. I find that guys that tend to do the best with a mystery method type of style of game are the guys who are more of an analytical mind. Guys who, might be computer programmers or engineers tend to be a little more introverted. Those types of minds, they can see a structure in everything. Like, step 1, you do this. Step 2, you do this. Step 3, you do this, and then result. So those guys tend to do better with that. And a lot of times they need that canned material and those openers and routines and things like that just to get the ball rolling, because they're just not used to interaction like that. So I find that to work best with those types of guys, all right? So, all right, we're going to hop into the next tip. Let's get it. Tip number 3, speed seduction style. You don't see this as much anymore. I do think it's effective. It lends to Ross Jeffries and NLP type style of game where you're using social hypnosis to communicate, all right? Some guys see that as creepy or devious or something like that. I see it as more of a way just to communicate, to open up people's minds. Some people like to say that it's manipulation. I like to say that it's influence. All right. There's a huge difference between manipulating somebody and influencing somebody. All right. Now, the thing is that when you're doing NLP type style game, there's a lot of components to it and there's a lot to it. And I think that that's why guys tend to not attach themselves to that quite as much. But again, it boils down to everything works. It's just a matter of what works best for you. Now, I think the type of guy that works best for is the kind of guy who's into psychology, that's into things like hypnotherapy, that's into really finding out what somebody's about mentally. You know, I think that more you're intellectual, I think that tends to gravitate to and work best with. All right, we're gonna hop into tip number 4. Let's go. Number 4, use everything. All right, that's kind of what I did when I structured my game. I basically used stuff from everybody. I watched thousands of hours of YouTube videos in the first couple of years of me learning game, and I would study with every mentor, guru, coach that I could find, see what worked for them, put it with my game, and discarded what didn't work for me, all right? Where it just became this big gumbo of game. Then I started being able to use my own insights and things that I was on that just worked for me, right? So the thing is that if you do that, I think that that's probably the best way to go. But that being said, just like I said throughout the video, everything works. It's just a matter of what works best for you. So understand what kind of person you are and just try stuff. Try to learn from everybody and just see what works, throw out what doesn't. You know, that's the best way about going about it. And what works for you doesn't necessarily mean that that's what works for everybody, and that's the way to do it. You know, everybody has their own style, everybody has their own structure, so roll with that. All right, definitely appreciate you guys watching this video. If you got value out of it, and I know that you did, make sure you hit the subscription button, make sure you hit the notification bell, share it with somebody that you know needs to hear this information, and we'll see you in the next video. Dale Valor, Modern Valor Dating. Salute.